Me now, as well as Cornell Belcher, who's back with me. Hugo, what is happening in that campaign?
It's a good question. I think they have decided that nothing they do between now and the debate is going to cut through and make a difference. And maybe there's a ring of truth to that. And so they're looking at the debate and they think, we really need Trump to do well. We're going to pray and hope that it's a good night for him, and then we'll reset then. But this is like the third or fourth time that this campaign has been like, all right, we're going to reset now.
Yeah.
They were going to do that before the DNC. They were going to do it after the DNC.
Adding Corey Lewandowski. I'm not sure why you'd add him, what he brings.
Right. They added new advisors. Like, there has been multiple attempts at a reset. And
since the reset, we've had the absolute abrogation of the way that Arlington National Cemetery was treated and disrespected. We've had J.D. Vance calling firefighters union members haters and getting booed by them. And Donald Trump tweeting, we're going to put up a little spray of them. Insane memes on his Truth Social denigrating Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris in a way I will not repeat, saying that Jack Smith should be arrested, Barack Obama should be arrested. Does the campaign have any control over him, or do they think that this is going to gain them voters?
That they don't have control, and I think what you referenced about Corey Lewandowski is accurate, because Corey's whole ethos and his whole philosophy is let Trump be Trump. He wrote a book about it. And so if you kind of follow that through to its logical end, what you find is Trump pining for a race that doesn't exist anymore. He wants, he's trying to will into existence a quote-unquote policy fight with Harris. Let's just leave it aside the merits of that. If Harris doesn't come to him, to the table, to have that fight that he wants to, it's a meaningless point. Like his advice saying, no, we got to focus on policy, that's all well and good. But if Harris is out there doing a vibes campaign and these guys don't have any vibes, or, something close to a good ground game, that's a real problem.
And what Trump seems to be doing personally is just on the fly changing his policies, saying, oh, no, I'll make the government pay for IVF. Oh, no. Like being really vague on whether he'd vote for the amendment to enshrine abortion rights in the state where he lives, Florida, and kind of making it sound like he's going to vote for it and say, well, 6 weeks is too short. Like he seems to be running toward her policies and abandoning parts of his base. Does this sound like a sound strategy?
Well, it sounds like someone who's not serious. And on the policy perspective, look, a policy debate is hilarious because the vast majority of the policies that they're for are not where the vast majority of Americans are. From a policy perspective, what policies are they going to put out that's going to bring more
tax cuts for the super rich?
Right. And deregulation? Beyond tax cuts and deregulation is going to harm our environment. Look, in the end, if you want to win Pennsylvania, you want to win Michigan, you want to win Georgia, you've got to do better got to do better in urban areas, but you also got to do better in the suburbs. And again, I would put to you, that woman sitting around her kitchen table, looking at her bills and thinking about her daughter's got to go to college and whether or not her daughter's even going to have as many rights in her life as she had in her life. What is all this angry politics solving for her? Yeah.
And the reality is, Hugo, you've had the Harris-Walz campaign say $25,000 down payment for homeowners assistance, $3,600 child tax credit, assisting and trying to stop people from gouging rent. And she's like, I'm middle class, so I get it. I was a renter. On the other side, you have Trump with the golden toilets, and now J.D. Vance, who worked for Peter Thiel, a billionaire, running back to him and saying, please give us money. I'm going to keep talking to Peter and persuading him that, he's obviously been exhausted by politics a little bit, but I think he needs to get off the sidelines and support the ticket. Begging a billionaire for money, hanging out with Elon Musk, who in the campaign thinks this is a good idea?
I think it's also partly a reflection of the campaign's kind of listlessness. You have J.D. Vance doing his own thing, and his advisors are Don Jr. guys. Like, it's a very small circle. This is not, like, they like to portray J.D. Vance as, like, this guy that came from the Midwest and, hillbilly energy. But at the end of the day, he is the guy that hangs out with Peter Thiel. He is the guy that hangs out with Don Jr.'s kids. And this is who they are. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Let me ask you this question, and you would know more than I would. Does his campaign staff, J.D. Vance, hate him? Why are they sending him into donut shops without vetting it to make sure anyone in that donut shop wants to talk to him, or telling him how to order a donut?
That was a low point in the campaign. Well, I think they love him, actually. They all get on because they're all like bros. Then this is the culture, actually, this is developed. On the J.D. Vance, on the VP side of the ticket here, it has become like an investment banking, kind of like corporate finance, bro-y kind of atmosphere. And so I think they kind of dismiss a lot of the punditry as like, oh, this is just us doing us, we're going to continue doing our thing. And I really think they are kind of above this and not looking at what is actually happening. And that is clearly becoming a problem.
And how many voters does that get? Being campaign tech bros and running around with your billionaire friends, begging billionaires for money, sort of laughing at the ordinary person, while the middle class lady and Tool Time Tim are telling people how to fix their gutters and being cool and normal.
Oh, it's not normal. And look, and it's not even professional. Look, I think there seems to be people around him, and I think we just had Dodd on, right? A longtime Republican strategist and professional. All these Republicans who are really good at electing other Republicans,
They're out of there.
they're out of there.
Yeah.
Right? And so you do have like the B team in there right now. And so some of the like the stuff with JD, again, as a longtime political campaign hack, it is inexcusable. I mean, it really is inexcusable. Also, the stuff with Trump right now, and you say you can't control Trump, but at some point the campaign has to get control of him or either pull him back. Don't have him do any more events. Don't have him do any more speeches. Pull him back.
Tell him to stop talking about Hannibal Lecter.
And again, start making ads that speak to these women voters who are concerned about the future.
Hugo, literally 6 weeks ago, this campaign was spiking the football saying they were going to win Maryland. Does anyone now around them believe that they are going to be able to pull blue states away from Kamala Harris and Tim Walz?
Put it this way, the discussion has been, are we actually going to keep North Carolina? And, you know, publicly they will be like...
Cornell says you're not. He's already said you're not.
Well, and this is the problem. Like, you're starting to see polls now where Harris, you know, is kind of drawing level or even ahead in some polls in North Carolina. They have to keep North Carolina. The easiest route they were looking at to winning the Electoral College was Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. And they were like, North Carolina's the safest thing because, you know, we won that previously. And now this is becoming iffy for them. And they won't ever publicly admit it. But I've talked to a number of Republican strategists in the state, also other polling firms that are connected to the state, and they are very, very concerned, regardless of what the Trump
and it doesn't help. It doesn't help that they've got a madman running for governor in the state of North Carolina who's not going to really be helpful, even to Trump. I mean, he might be Hannibal Lecter for all we know. Hugo Lowell and Cornell Belcher. It's been fun, guys. Thank you. But you know, I do want to know if it's somebody on JD Vance's team don't like them. They don't seem like they like him. You say they like him, I believe they like him. Coming up, they don't like him. Trump and his campaign. Just tell me how to order it. Don't just say get sprinkles. Just say get sprinkles. Coming up, Trump and his campaign's behavior.